Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nyimas Ramadina and I'm from 5BB class. I will explain to you about non-probability sampling. Here is the contents I will explain about. The first one is definition, and then we will talk about types of non-probability sampling, and then we will talk about the examples, and then the last one is the advantages of non-probability samplings. Let's start from the first topic. The definition of non-probability sampling. What is non-probability sampling? Non-probability sampling is defined as a sampling technique in which the researcher selects samples based on the subjective judgment of the researcher rather than random selections. It is a less stringent method. The sampling method depends heavily on the expertise of the researchers. It is carried out by observation, and researchers use it widely for qualitative research. There are four types of non-probability sampling. There are convenience sampling, quota samplings, judgmental or purposive sampling, and the last one is snowball sampling. Convenience sampling is a non-probability sampling technique where samples are selected from the population only because they are conveniently available to the researcher. Researchers choose these samples just because they are easy to recruit, and the researchers did not consider selecting a sample that represents the entire population. Ideally, in research, it is good to test a sample that represents the population, but in some research, the population is too large to examine and consider the entire population. It is one of the reasons why researchers rely on convenience sampling, which is the most common non-probability sampling method, because of the speed, cost effectiveness, and ease of available of the samples. Next is quota sampling. Hypothetically consider a researcher wants to study the career goals of male and female employees in an organization. There are 500 employees in the organization, also known as the population. To understand better about population, the researcher will need only a sample, not the entire population. Further, the researcher is interested in particular strata within the population. Here is where quota sampling helps in dividing the population into strata or groups. Next is judgmental and purposive sampling. In the judgmental sampling method, researchers select the samples based purely on the researcher's knowledge and credibility. In other words, researchers choose only those people who they deem fit to participate in the research study. Judgmental or purposive sampling is not a scientific method of sampling, and the downside to this sampling technique is that the preconceived notions of a researcher can influence the results. Thus, this research technique involves a high amount of ambiguity. The last one is snowball sampling. Snowball sampling helps researchers find a sample when they are difficult to locate. Researchers use this technique when the sample size is small and not easily available. The sampling system works like the referral program. Once the researchers find suitable subjects, they ask them for assistance to seek similar subjects to form a considerably good-sized sample. Here are three simple examples of non-probability sampling. First one, an example of convenience sampling would be using student volunteers known to the researchers. Researchers can send the survey to students belonging to a particular school, college, or university and act as a sample. Another example is in an organization. for studying the color goals of 500 employees, technically, the sample selected should have proportionate numbers of males and females, which means there should be 250 males and 250 females. Since this is unlikely, the researcher selects the group or strata using quota sampling. The last one is researchers also use this type of sampling to conduct research involving a particular illness in patients or a rare disease. Researchers can seek help from subjects to refer to other subjects suffering from the same ailment to form a subjective sample to carry out the study. The advantages of non-probability sampling. The first one is non-probability sampling techniques are more conducive and practical method for researchers deploying surveys in the real world. Although the statisticians prefer probability sampling because it yields data in the form of numbers. However, if data in the form numbers, if done correctly, it can produce similar, if not the same quality of result. The another advantage is getting responses using non-probability sampling is faster and more cost-effective than probability sampling because the sample is known to the researcher. The respondents respond quickly as compared to people randomly selected as they high motivation level to participate. When to use non-probability sampling? The first condition, use this type of sampling to indicate if a particular trait or characteristic exists in a population, or researchers widely use the non-probability sampling method when they aim at conducting qualitative research, pilot studies, or exploratory research. Or another condition, researchers use it when they have limited time to conduct research or have budget constraints, or when the researchers need to observe whether a particular issue needs an in-depth analysis, they apply this method. Or the last condition, they will use it when they do not intend to generate results that will generalize the entire population. Here is the summary from my explanation. You can click the pause button to read the entire sentences. Alright, that's all from me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.